folks, Pam Graham here. Today's video, I'm going to talk about the possibility of a market crash for the Jacksonville, Florida area. Now, I'm going to talk about numbers, but I'm going to make it quick, short, sweet to let you know what's happening in the market. I'm sure you've heard on the news, on your Facebook feed, people are saying, oh, the crash is coming, the crash is coming. People are panicking, they're getting scared. The interest rate's going to be by 20% by the end of the year. Yes, that's a little exaggerated, but I have seen people who have mentioned really, really high interest rates. And I just wanted to tell you what's going on. The first thing you got to know, real estate is completely local. What's happening in my area of Jacksonville in Northeast Florida can be totally different than, let's say, Washington State. Or even South Florida is totally different than North Florida. It's different. The prices are higher. Things are different. So even within the state, things could be different. So it's always local. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, the prices have went up. Everything's going to crash. Well, here's what I believe. And as I mentioned in other videos, if I'm wrong, I'm deleting these. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. But seriously, I believe that we are not going to see a crash. We're going to see a correction, maybe, like a less rising of prices. We're going to start to see more inventory, which actually we are seeing more inventory. I pulled up the MLS the other day, yesterday actually, June 21st. There were 4,200 available active listings in Northeast Florida. Now, let me tell you, I don't usually like going by those numbers because sometimes agents could show or list houses that are way, way, way farther out of our area. So I usually try to narrow it down to like Jacksonville or St. John's or Clay County. But for this purpose, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you it's 4,200. Now, just a couple months ago, get this. Our total inventory was around 2,900, 2,400. So you can see that has went up. Big difference. Right now, we have more houses available for the month of June than we did the month of May. But the month of May, we are not seeing any numbers that are suggesting any crashes. We're still seeing very low inventory because we got to remember, folks, a seller's market is usually defined by, and it varies, having a month's inventory of 5 months or less. So what that means is if you have a current inventory of 2,000 and you sold 300, it goes by the months it takes to sell those listings based on what is sold. So, and that means if nothing else has come on the market. So we're not seeing, like all year so far, we've seen actually our inventory levels come down. And May's was still down. But June, we are seeing that coming up. Now, it's really hard to do the numbers right in the middle of the month because, honestly, folks, real estate agents, we're not great at making sure we update our listings in the MLS. I'm not going to lie, I've forgotten and went by a day or two. So sometimes the numbers aren't completely accurate. But right now, I know you can't see what I'm pointing at. I'm actually pointing at my paper. This is the median sales price. Right now, June is beating out all the rest of the months for the median sales price in Jacksonville. So we're not seeing a price drop. Now, I do notice I have a listing that has taken a little bit to sell, to go under contract. It has finally gone under contract. It's been a couple weeks. And so I did notice that, but I feel like the price on that one was probably too high and we needed to start a little bit lower. But I am hearing some people saying that it is less showings, things might be dropping the prices. But again, I looked up sales price to original list price to see what was going on. And we're over a little bit over 100. Now, let me tell you what that means. So let's say you listed for 200,000 from the very beginning. You go under contract at the 100%, it's actually a little bit more, but not much more. It shows that sellers are getting their listing price. Listing price from the beginning, not after price changes and then they go under contract and there's that figure. That figure isn't accurate because it's not representing what the whole listing period shows. So we're still seeing sellers getting full price offers, full price asking. And that still hasn't changed. And I think the other factor, like people want to mention 2008, this is like 2008. Well, the difference then was you could go get a rental, a nice rental, for a decent price. We rented in that time frame and it was $1,000 a month for 1,800 square foot home, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a really nice neighborhood. $1,000 a month. That same house rented for like $2,100 recently. And even neighborhoods where they're the foundation neighborhoods, the rental prices are still way up there. So sellers, if they are distressed sellers, one, they have equity for the most part. Two, the other option is to go rent, and renting is actually still more expensive per month than buying is. Obviously, you don't have the factors involved with, maintenance and things like that. But even with interest rates going up, we're still seeing housing prices per month are less than the rental amounts. And I think that's key, because what's your other option? Okay, I don't want to pay this amount for a house to buy, but my option is to go pay $18,000 for another house of equivalent to where my house payment, my mortgage payment would be less. And it would be mine to paint whatever colors, to have however many animals I want, to do whatever you want with the house within reason. But so I feel like the rentals kind of hold this story in line, in place, that we need to watch the rentals as well. And I do notice one thing, we talked about this before, investment companies buying out these properties and then turn around and rent them for crazy high amounts. And they're paying market price, and sometimes in some cases over market price with cash. It's really hard for a homeowner to say no to that. I understand if you get an extra 20 grand, it's kind of hard to say no. But now HOAs are starting to put their foot down on that. Not necessarily they could do that right out of the gate, but I know of one in Clay County that they're gathering signatures to try to get enough to add to the covenants and restrictions that you have to be living in the house for 2 years before you can rent it out. So that means an investment company comes in, tries to buy houses, and then they can't do it. So that's going to affect the rental market once that occurs more often. So that's the other factor that we need to watch too. I'm not saying inflation and higher interest rates may not pose an issue, but I really think since we are so much in a hot seller's market that it's going to be gradual. So only time will tell. I'll do June's market update again, probably mid-July, to give all the other real estate agents a chance to put their information in so we have more accurate numbers. But if you have any questions about it, leave me a comment. I love answering questions. I'll include more in the description box below. I'll include a link to my other market reports that I do every single month. I do a separate one for Jacksonville, Clay County, and St. Johns County as well, because they're all different too. Clay County and Jacksonville kind of run similar. St. Johns runs differently due to the higher prices of the houses there. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Know that we're not seeing a crash, maybe a slowdown, but nothing to panic about. So don't panic. But always prepare for the future. Save money, pay off your debt. You'll be fine, folks.